So front fanning on the shot was Harsani. Rebound sitting loose. Now Whiskey drops down to cover up. Now Weisblatt trying to get in there. He's going to get some business from Blueswick. Oasis Weisblatt tried to dig that puck loose from Whiskey. And now Missouri hammers his man down. They dropped the mitts. Tigers player lost his helmet. He's under Missouri and a couple of officials. Blueswick's lost his helmet. He's getting some verbal assault from McKenna as Missouri took care of Ryder Ritchie. It gets a round of applause for the Rebels faithful. Well, Ron, you got to expect late in the third period, well, midway through this third period, third straight game between these two teams and the score being what it is, that this is about where the temperature is going to be.
Well, it is, and they've had, Medicine Hat's had another power play that, yes, they moved the puck around again, but they had nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. And Red Deer's done what they've done all night. They've made it uncomfortable in front of the net. And eventually, whether it's the previous two games leading up to this, they were not rough or penalty-filled affairs at all. And this one is just getting late, and the frustration, I think, more from just this game. But young Missouri getting into his first Western Hockey League fight. Not that that's a necessary thing to have to do.
Comes over the Wheat King line, driving the middle. Fiddler to his right, pulls the trigger, steered away by Bjarnason. Flamin is on the rebound. It's kicked towards the front of the net. Bjarnason covers up. Lucas Sauchen is into it now with a couple of Wheat Kings, and that's going to draw a crowd all right as Grayson Sauchen comes in to defend his brother with 1:46 to go in the first period. Shipley takes Sauchen to the ice, and Klippenstein's in there like you'd expect. And it looks like at least one guy from each team is going to earn a little bit of an early rest with 1:46 before the intermission.
Well, Carter Klippenstein right there to protect his players, and he gets there, he throws a punch that was caught by the official, and so but fortunately for the Wheat Kings, they're going to send both guys off, and the last punch going to Carter Klippenstein, they're both going to go off for 2 here. I'm sure it'll just be a saw-off in this situation, but it all stems from the loose puck that Bjarnason jumped on, and then of course Lucas Sauchen gets right in there and tries to get at the loose puck, and right away 4 Wheat Kings on top of him to try to protect their goaltender. It's a good sign to see when teams stick up for their players.
Ran over a rocket. It's going to be another penalty on Spokane. And now Sarkanoff figuring, well, I'm already going. He just laid out a hit over there on Calhoun. Frampton getting into a scrap with Calhoun there at the end.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think the Chiefs are going to be on the shorthanded situation again, but extra hit by Sarkanoff, and it was a big hit in the corner. Could have been called late interference. That was called earlier on Shea Van Olm, and we'll see how they sort this one out. The referees are going to talk this one over inside the half circle near the scorekeeping bench between the penalty boxes. That's their safe space to talk without the captains in their ear.
Like that was off the stick of Sopiars into the Seattle zone. Seattle's Cumbie will play it behind the play, though. We've got gloves dropped. Let's see who's involved there. That was Davidson for Seattle. Hard to tell from this angle. And again, these Cougar jerseys aren't the easy. No, that was Jamison, not Davidson, on the bottom of that spill. And the Seattle zone down to our right. So more fighting majors coming up. The Zane involved for the Cougars. These two teams don't meet each other a lot, only 4 times during the season. This is just their first meeting this season. It's gotten a little chippy, shall we say. Penalty here on both at 8:11 of the second period. Jamison to the box for Seattle, DeZane for the Cougars.
But lost the puck to Schaefer Gordon Carroll. Up the left side to Weisblatt. Takes a big hit from Fabrizi as those two guys come together again. And now they're going to drop the mitts because Corbet didn't like the hit. Fabrizi gets a couple early ones in. Nate Corbet loses an edge. Big Mateo Fabrizi gives him a seat. How about that from Mateo Fabrizi? Big hit on Oasis Weisblatt. And then answers the bell with Corbet.
Answer the bell with Corbet, and he knew when he made the hit, Corbet's on the ice. He's going to be coming at you. He's been looking for an excuse to try to get his teammates into this game as Corbet, but he picked the wrong guy with 6'5" Fabrizi. It didn't get into a real throwing right and left bombs. And if it comes to just a wrestling thing with strength, Fabrizi's going to do okay in that guard.
We'll take a break and come back. Rebels lead 6-2. You're listening to Alberta Ram Dealers Rebels Hockey on 107.
Blue line, breaking out to center ice behind the play. Hartman's going to drop the gloves, and one of the Cougars, Caleb Hartman, just hammered the helmet off the head of the Cougar player, and he's going to try to take him down to the ice as the linesman trying to pull these two players apart. Trying to see which Cougar player is in the mix. But the linesman all over him, trying to shake these two free. And it looks like it's greening, so they'll each get 5 minutes for fighting. That'll get the crowd out of their feet. These penalties coming at 13:01 of the first period. First penalties on the game for either team. We'll take a 60-second media timeout and be back with more first period action here at the Accesso Shower Center. T-Birds trail 1-0 on the Thunderbirds broadcast.
Along the boards by Johnson. Back to the left point for Ward. Across from McCutcheon, and there's going to be a fight here. Trey Johnson and Brady Ness after that hit. Johnson just got popped with a good right by Ness. More rights by Ness. Helmet's off of Trey Johnson. Still rights by Ness. And the linesman will step in here as Brady Ness was firing on all cylinders on that one after getting stapled to the boards by Trey Johnson.
Yeah, Brady Ness was not happy with the hit from Johnson. Wants to fire his team up a little more. A couple penalties for Moose Jaw back-to-back has given Lethbridge the momentum a little bit, and he did not stop feeding rights to Johnson. And now he's got words for the Lethbridge bench right now. So a little bit of a heated rivalry here in the first period, starting to pick up.
So the Hurricanes down a forward, and Moose Jaw, who dressed 7, down a defenseman for the next 5 minutes, which will carry over.
Much of the Vancouver Giants. You want to get out of here making the Blazers facing a 2-goal deficit going into the third.
Oh, we have a little bit of shenanigans behind the net with an unlikely Giant, I believe. Oh, so first it was Oreskovic who I said unlikely, but now Colton Elaine really getting involved. He lost his helmet. I'm not sure what's got him all rattled. It's Thompson, and behind the net, Pantelakis is the other one. So I'm sure we're going to get some offsetting minors here, but there was definitely a little bit of anger from both sides.
Yeah, you want to be careful too. Going on the road trip, you don't want to get in a situation where there's any kind of suspension. There wasn't anything close to it there. There was a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, and usually when there is pushing and shoving, a helmet comes loose.
To center ice, picked up there by McNutt, flipped to the line, stolen by Minio. Chance to break into the zone with Matthews, but behind the play we got a whistle coming up. Another penalty against Seattle, going to be on Holberton, and he's dropped the gloves now. And again, tell who it is for the Cougars from my angle. They're measuring each other. It might be Foster. They grab each other. It is Foster. Holberton's helmet falls off. There goes the helmet of Foster as well, as they have each other basically in a headlock here with the linesman. Holberton coming up, comes right to the stick of Foster. He'll clear to center ice. Picked up there by McNutt. Flipped to the line, stolen by Minio. Chance to break into the zone with Matthews, but behind the play we got a whistle coming up. Another penalty against Seattle, going to be on Holberton, and he's dropped the gloves now. And again, tell who it is for the Cougars from my angle. They're measuring each other. It might be Foster. They grab each other. It is Foster. Holberton's helmet falls off. There goes the helmet of Foster as well, as they have each other basically in a headlock here with the linesman skating around outside them, trying to jump in at the first opportunity, as neither player is able to get their arms free here. A lot of yanking at each other, trying to pull each other to the ice. Holberton briefly had his right arm free, and now the linesmen have stepped in to pull him apart. So these fighting majors coming at 9:40 period two, but it was preceded by a...
At both ends. Nice move there by Vluswick. Stretch pass ahead to Wilkie. Crosses the Tigers line. Toe drag shot. McCallum save, and he holds on. 6:23 to go in this second period. We'll take a break as we get some extracurriculars after the whistle. McCann got a punch in to knock Roberts' helmet off, and the Colorado kid took exception to that. So there'll be at least 2 penalties coming out of this little skirmish that continues. We will take the break. Medicine Hat in Red Deer. Rebels leading 5-2. You're listening to Alberta Ram Dealers Rebels Hockey on 106.7 Rewind Radio.
Hey, wait for me. Corner, Scott, right circle, Royals shoot, blocked down, centered, and covered. Andre Stebatek there to answer. Tempers flaring a bit. Miskey and Newman all over it. Reggie Newman grabs Jordan Duguay. Check that. Kyle McDonough rips off his helmet. Looks like offsetting penalties will come here. And with 20.3 seconds to go, Portland could just keep it clean, clear the puck a few times, and this game will end. McDonough getting the early exit towards his locker room. Portland and
right side for Crocker, fresh off the bench. That's Sivertson who gets a shot away, and this puck is covered up by Sanche now. Bebo getting in, he's tied up with his man. I think that's Lucas Kaplan on the bottom of that pile.
Well, Bebo was going in looking for that rebound and gets it.